And hello, and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse, where the worlds of nerd meet. As always, I am your host, Joel, coming at you kind of low energy this week, and I apologize for that. I was telling Matt before we started that, this is one of those days where I wish I could have postponed the show, but then I thought back on all the other times we postponed the show, and it was usually when Matt and I were like so sick we were near death, or when I was horribly maimed with a leg burn. So, it felt kind of lame to postpone the show just because, not feeling it.
Yeah, not feeling, and it's also one of those rare weeks where I think every one of our topics this week is a comic book topic. There's no no movie, no TV, or anything in it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say there might be one. I was gonna talk about this when we talked about what we did this week, but I actually finally saw the Joker movie.
Oh, really?
I did.
Oh, we'll save that. We'll save that.
We'll save that topic. I imagine people will be chomping at the bit for that, although I had to get rid of one fan who was maybe a little too obsessive every time we brought it up. That guy was werewolf, and I'll tell you that much.
Oh, was he ever?
But yeah, how was your week, Matt?
Pretty good, pretty slow. I'm trying to catch up on all of my reviews that I've missed over the past couple of weeks, and I'm actually getting pretty far. I've got at the moment where I record my reviews, I've got 20 windows up, so 20 different reviews.
Yeah. That was about my load this week too. This week was absolutely ridiculous for new comics. Just insane.
Yeah.
Again, I have them all over on my other computer where I work, but I haven't even begun to scratch the surface, and I never got a hold of Captain America this week, and I never got a hold of the new Deadpool this week. I had honestly forgot they had come out, and that's obviously something I want to come back and talk about.
Yeah.
The chat's asking, too, Mandalorian Episode 3 discussion? Haven't even seen that this week, Marvel Knight. That's the kind of week I've been having. I'm behind on everything. I know.
Gotta get into it. Jon Favreau's in the episode.
Everyone said it was the best one of the season. And isn't the lady who's directing this one also doing the Obi-Wan show?
Yeah. Got me really excited for that.
Which is a hard feat, because I know you and I were kind of bumming on the Obi-Wan show. It's do we really need this? Did Solo not prove that you don't need to give a backstory to every character, no matter how beloved?
Yeah. It's got me excited for the action and stuff, and the way she shot the episode was really nice as well. So I'm looking forward to the Obi-Wan series. I still don't think it should be around, because what do you talk about?
Again, we've made this joke before, but again, I think you do Gran Torino, but with Obi-Wan on the deserts of Tatooine. All the Hutt gangsters being like, "Hey, time to pay you protection." What is it, Old Ben? And he's like, "Get off my lawn, my sand lawn."
That was essentially the comic that they had going for a little bit.
I know they did, and I'm like, well, just adapt this then.
Yeah.
Which, I guess they will, because it's all in the same continuity, so why not? Already my camera is fine. This never happens with me, Matt. This only happens when we stream. I don't know what that problem is, if it's some kind of driver issue, or what the fuck it is.
I don't know.
Tevye is also asking us about Titan Season 2. I don't watch it, Tevye. I've only mentioned that 100 times. Did you watch it, Matt? I know. No. I saw the tweets with the Nightwing costume. Well, there you go. We don't watch it. And you have less reason to watch the DC Universe app than ever now, because that Stargirl show is apparently going to the CW as well.
Yeah, it's airing on the CW the day after it airs on the DC app. So, why bother with the app? Just fucking watch it on fucking CW.
So as it stands right now, the only thing the app is going to have, legitimately, is the Titans show, but even then, that's not all over the place, because I can watch it on Canadian Netflix, because again, there's still no DC Universe here yet. That Harley Quinn show, as it stands right now, and the next season of Young Justice are the only things that you can't see anywhere else at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, boy, that app was a great investment. I know if I was allowed to give them my Canadian snow dollars, I'd probably be a little pissed. But
yeah.
That's all I got to say about that. What's that meme with Kermit? But that's none of my business.
That's none of your business.
That's none of my business. So yeah, I guess. So where do we want to start with this? We want to start with news, or did you have another point you wanted to bring up about anything in particular?
Not really. No.
All right, let's actually go to the news then, which, as we said, was actually pretty meaty. Here's an interesting piece I wasn't expecting. Marvel is going to be publishing a bland. No, it's not bland. I haven't read it yet. I can't tell if it's bland. A brand new Ultraman book for the West. Now, how familiar are you with Ultraman, Matt, the tokusatsu hero of Japan?
Kind of familiar, I want to say. I'm familiar within like all the stuff I've seen through like YouTube and stuff of the character doing like random shit like beating up kaiju and whatnot. And I watched that anime series that Netflix did recently about Ultraman, which was actually pretty cool. I really like that.
From what I understand, yeah, Ultraman is kind of coming back in the pop culture zeitgeist right now, like Godzilla, like Power Rangers, like Pokemon, like all these great Japanese brands. He never really went away. It's just he's not a pop culture icon here in the West like he is in Japan. But Marvel looks to kind of trying to change that. And I know what I instantly thought of, and obviously it's not a one-to-one comparison, but it feels like they're trying to, like, make Ultraman synonymous with Marvel, or hoping to, at least, in the same way that they're kind of doing with Conan now, trying to blur the lines, where it's like, oh no, Ultraman is like totally cozy with Marvel, just like Conan is totally cozy with Marvel too.
Hey, if that leads to like an Ultraman Avengers crossover, I'm all for that.
Man, the Japanese, or what is it? The Avengers got to go on a Japanese vacation, and they meet Ultraman, and they fight some giant monsters.
Yeah, written by Akira Yoshida.
Oh, shit. I was on a show the other day, and they're like, oh, Joel, you said Akira Yoshida. I guess we're never going to work for Marvel now. And I'm like, oh, yeah, because that was on the table. And also, yeah, that's the thing that ruined it. But no, you're right. I agree. Akira needs more work. He needs to come out of retirement just for this Ultraman series. Man, wouldn't that just not be the ultimate big dick move? Yes, I'm writing it again. Yes, I am Akira Yoshida, not C.B. Sagluski. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, you can't do anything. I made X-Men great again.
I mean, I guess Hickman did, but you allowed it to happen. I don't know, man. I don't know. Speaking of Hickman and X-Men, did you read there was an article posted there, an interview with Cullen Bunn. And, thank you, Wayne, for following us. I just saw that there on the thing. Did you see they had a little interview with Cullen Bunn? Apparently, even when he started his run like 2 years ago, they already knew that Hickman was coming and that he was probably going to clean the board of everything that they were working on. So, like, all those rumors of Hickman coming to write X-Men were totally accurate even back then, and I thought that was just so crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and hello, New Genesis. Thank you, too, for following as well. But, man, that had to really suck for that generation of X-writer to know full well, hey, write whatever you want, but it's not going to matter in 2 years.
Yeah, I guess that would suck. But, yeah, still, they got, like, a couple of years to, like, do their own thing and make their mark on X-Men fiction and stuff like that, on the history and the legacy and everything. So yeah, and you never know, like Hickman could say, I like that, I'm gonna keep that in, or stuff like that.
I mean, he already has to quite a few things, which again, like he didn't have to do the Psylocke Betsy Braddock switch, but he did. Also, thank you, the Friar, too, for subbing as well. Just wanted to get that out there, because yeah, like they haven't deleted everything. You know, like I think Hickman is a nice enough guy and a collaborative enough guy to know where it's like, well, I'm not going to just destroy it all. I could, but
yeah, he knows what to take and what not to take. He's like, people like this. People thought this was fucking stupid.
I mean, it helps too, where it's like you're going to have to work with these people. You're going to have to sit across from them at conventions and everything. So maybe you shouldn't totally nuke their work just because you thought you had a better idea. But, you know, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Oh, yeah, Man Assault saying, I remember a couple years ago when that dude hid that propaganda in a piece of X-Men artwork. Yeah, that was the first issue of Gold. He did it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Did it, mouthed off on Facebook about it, got fired, and then hasn't worked in the comic industry since.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because I think that guy was, like, a pretty good artist from what I remember.
He was, but apparently he was also a hateful piece of shit.
Yeah,
so, no big loss. I'm sure he can do a grifty Kickstarter at some point.
Yeah, you can go work with Ethan Van Sciver on that new cyber dog or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh no, Matt! You said his name. You never. It's like Beetlejuice. You never say it into the internet.
You can't say it.
Yeah. Oh no! He said it again. But all right. So what do we got after that? Here's an interesting piece of news. Apparently, James Tynion's long-awaited, I say long-awaited, we didn't know it was coming, but we know it's coming now, long-awaited Batman run is actually set to start early now. We're getting a surprise sneak peek bonus story in the pages of Batman 85, which is the penultimate issue.
When I heard this, I think, so what you're saying is Batman 85 didn't meet the standard 20-odd pages, and what does that say about fucking Tom King? He's ending his run and he couldn't even make the final fucking issue, 20 pages long, and even worse than that, the issue beforehand is going to be a flashback issue.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, well, the next issue, since we had 83 this week, 84 is about how apparently Thomas Wayne came and how it's all important now when really it doesn't matter because you're finishing on issue 85.
That blows me away that they might actually try and explain something only here at the end when it doesn't matter anymore.
It won't explain anything.
Yeah, I'm sure it will only seem more ridiculous by comparison.
Yeah.
My theory when I saw this piece of news come across, the thing is like, they really want us to buy 85 is what they're saying. They really want it to end strong, so please, for the love of God, buy Batman 85 so at least you can see what Tynion is starting.
Yeah, and also, does that mean like in that issue, we're basically going to start getting revisions to King's stuff, like Tynion starting his own story early to get a leg up on everything that's been happening, because we've got to have Alfred and everything come back and whatnot, and yeah.
Oh no, Alfred is definitely staying dead because they solicited a bunch of new books.
Don't worry, he's coming back. He'll probably come back as a villain he did that last time, and then be good again.
Oh yeah, the Outsider, which was his name, hilariously enough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, because Tynion's also writing a special one-shot that's basically like Batman dealing with the death of Alfred, which is like, didn't King already do that this week? Yeah,
no, he
didn't.
No, he didn't.
Not
he put
really,
a bunch of wanky fucking
get
poetry on the page and thought he was smart about doing it.
Did you know that he loves Longfellow poetry because he gave us 2 Longfellow poems literally in their entirety?
Yeah, fucking hell.
Again, like we said, Tevia, they're going to explain that apparently in the next issue, but, we'll wait and see. I mean, explain in the Tom King thing, which means he writes one thing and then says another thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
Some guy in the comment section tried to tell me that I was being too hard on Tom King because killing Alfred wasn't his idea, it was DC editorial's idea. And I'm like, point to me where?
Yeah, what is your source on this, sir?
Yeah, and you're not just making this up, because it sounds like you're making this up. Also, let us not forget Tom King talked for months in the lead up to Alfred's death that, he was going to change Batman's life forever, and he needed to talk to the Warner Brothers heads because, that's how big and crazy and all-encompassing it was.
Yeah.
And then this happened, so
Yep.
Sorry if I don't believe you on that. But yeah, so Batman 85 is now officially my most excited for issue in this thing, because I get to read another story that hopefully will get me excited for a brand new run.
Yeah, the back half has me really excited.
Man, it would be such a hilarious troll where it's like, okay, so I got Batman 85, I got the Tom King story and the James Tynion backup story. We're just going to talk about the backup story. Man, this was the best issue ever. Just load it with the faintest praise.
Oh, yeah.
Or be like, look, I got to get through this main part of the story really quick so I can get to the back.
So Batman talks about poetry and mopes around. He can't ever be happy. And then we go to this Batman who's nice and jokey and happy and playing with people and, partnering up with people.
I mean, we still don't know what his Batman's going to be, but it would be interesting if Batman, like, wakes up, there's, like, a bunch of booze bottles around him, like he just got over a terrible, like, you know, month-long bender. It's like, I gotta get my act together.
Well, I mean, Tynion wrote Batman in Justice League, and his Justice League Batman was, like, kind of a jokey, you know, dry wit kind of guy. So, yeah, I'd much prefer it, though, if they made it like how Matt Fraction is currently writing Batman in the Jimmy Olsen book. We'll get to that when we get what we talked about.
Right, of course. I mean, Tynion also wrote him in Detective for a while, and I thought he wrote a very cool, very fallible Batman in that book who wasn't always right, but didn't have to be. But yeah, so that's that story. Next up, we have some more Birds of Prey news. If you've been following this story on the show, you know, DC kind of has no idea what they're doing with this book right now. They know they want lots of Birds of Prey content to coincide with the movie, but they don't really want a new comic or don't know what to do because they announced Birds of Prey Giant. They also announced the, like, Amanda Connor series, which is coming out. Then they canceled the Birds of Prey Giant. Now they've resolicited it, but they have not announced what writer is going to be on it. They've just resolicited it.
Yeah, I don't know whether they as JT says, they want synergy, and I think they're trying to work out, like, well, how do we do that with this book? Like, because it's like kind of not, but kind of is, but like we need more Harley Quinn in it. But how do we get Harley Quinn in the Birds of Prey? Because she's never been in the Birds of Prey, because she's not a fucking member of them.
It's a hell of a thing where it's like, look, we need to promote this movie with a book, but the book is nothing like the movie. Well, make the book more like the movie then, but then if we do that, it's not even Birds of Prey anymore.
Yeah, it's just a team of Gotham female heroes and villains.
Yeah. This is hard. Comic publishing is hard. Make it easier, Matt.
Make it all
Cancel
synergy.
the book. Now,
cancel it and put more Harley Quinn in it. Just add her in. Just Photoshop her into all the pages.
Wasn't there also supposed to be like a Brian Azzarello Black Label Birds of Prey book? Is that still coming out? Or I don't even know. Because here's the thing. I wasn't even interested in enough of these books to even cover them enough to, like, want to read them.
Yeah, that Brian Azzarello one, it, like, did it get cancelled? Or it, like, got shifted, but isn't Black Label anymore, but then is? Or something. The Black Label books in themselves are, like, really weird, because it's like the writers and artists, like, go at their own pace by the sounds of it. They're like, we'll do that when we get to it, when we feel like it.
Well, that's a prestige format, Matt. When you're a prestige, you get to do whatever you want and take as much time as you need because it's a prestige, and we'll print it on bigger things to make it really hard for YouTubers trying to make videos.
Goddamn fucking Black Label and their fucking shitty sizes.
Yeah, well, again, you know, we say that and we joke, but there was actually a pretty good Black Label book that came out this week.
There was.
So, you know, we complain, but it's only because we love. It's only because we care. And it's like, it's one of these things too where it's like, look, DC, if you really cared about the Birds of Prey and you really gave a shit on this one and you actually wanted people to pick up and read the book, you know who you should have called? Gail Simone, the woman who made the book cool and worth reading and everything for a long period of time. I know you seem to have a weird relationship with her after you fired her by email that one time, then quickly rehired her. And then she just kind of does her own thing right now. You really should have gone to her is what you should have done.
Yeah, it makes me think maybe they wanted to, but they're like, we can't make it look like we're like crawling back or something. You know what I mean? And it's like, so we'll just like give it to these other writers. They'll do it.
They're saying in the chat they're getting freezing and buffering. Again, it looks fine on my end, but again, I can't speak for everyone.
I've got like the green thingy, so
my camera keeps messing up for some reason. Again, I don't. Why does this only happen on this show, Matt? What's the deal? What is the freaking deal with this? I swear, it's got to be a driver issue. It's got to be something. I got to fucking research this at some point. And again, it's like, it can't, is it a problem on my end? Is it a problem on your end? What is the deal?
I have no idea.
Is it because I'm recording backup audio on this end, but maybe is there like a camera open somewhere? Is that's what's happening to it? Because like it's trying to read two things at one time?
Probably. It'd be something, maybe something on Twitch's end, as people in the chat are saying.
Potentially. Because it's like people watch my own streams and I use the same camera and the same setup, and nothing is ever a problem there. Here it looks like I'm having some kind of crazy 60s drug trip here. Look at all the colors. I'm a kaleidoscope. I'm that scene in Doctor Strange. Oh, well, but there's your Black Label news, everyone. From there, we talk about more hasty DC cancellations. It seems that they've canceled the third collection of Damage. Remember Damage, Matt? He's back in Pog form. Well, actually, no, he's not. They canceled him.
Well, now that he's canceled, there's one book left over from the Age of Heroes book, and that's the Terrifics, and that's the team that's like full of people everyone knows.
Yeah. Oh, no. Damage has been canceled for a long time. This is just the collected works of like everything that they did. Now, Damage ran a little longer. I thought it was like still going, but like two people were reading it. Oh no, Damage has been canceled for a while. This is just the third collection of his story, so I'm guessing like they made enough for volume 3, which again means he actually lasted longer than most of most of the other New Age of Heroes books. But yeah, they give such little shit for this weak Hulk Xerox that they're just like, no, we're not even gonna collect the rest of your stories.
Yeah. Do you reckon they'll like eventually like just put them out as like they'll collect this and then like whatever other stories from like the other books they didn't ever collect into like Age of Heroes like trade?
Oh, almost certainly. Because again, that's almost exactly what they did, where it's like, look, people kind of cared about Damage. They certainly didn't care about all these other stories. So yeah, we should probably package them all together to try and recoup our losses.
Yeah, this is such like a funny failed experiment.
Oh,
because it like any other time it probably would have succeeded, but it came at like the worst possible time, because obviously Marvel was trying to like get a leg up on DC and basically give people back what they missed from DC: the Fantastic Four, a Bruce Banner Hulk, all this stuff, and then like a week later, everything came back in Marvel.
It is a hilarious boondoggle, and again, I don't want to make it seem like, I'm mean-spirited or anything by dancing on the grave of this imprint, but I naysayed it from day one, and people threw so much anger and vile and vitriol my way for saying, like, guys, they're clearly Marvel ripoffs, like, clearly.
Yeah, very, like, not even, like thinly veiled, like, these were literally Marvel ripoffs.
No, where it's like, look, they even got some of the same creative teams, and the covers are referencing famous Marvel covers. No, Joel, you suck. We'll never get new heroes if you shout it down like this. But they're not new, though. They're totally whatever. And then slowly but surely they canceled all of it, and I feel big and smart, and my nerd dick feels very big because I was right, and nothing feels better than being right.
This is what happens when Dan DiDio gets an idea. You get shit like the New 52 and this.
Yeah, this was his baby. He wrote Sideways.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious to me still. He's writing that Metal Man book right now. It's crazy to me what Dan DiDio, this guy with all this power and all this clout in the office, when he gets weird hairs up his ass to be like, I'm going to write about the Metal Man. I'm going to write about these.
Yeah, it's like books that like haven't been popular for like 30 years. Like books that were popular when he was a kid. He wants to write about, not realizing that like people don't really want them or want like a new spin on them that will make them more interesting. Not just these guys are made of metal and they fight with each other because they're a family.
He's writing for an audience of one. That audience is him. And honestly, it's kind of sweet in a way because it's like, oh, you love the Metal Men as much as you hate Nightwing and all the young heroes.
It would be a shame if someone were to shoot them and turn them into Rick.
They're all Rick now. Look, I tell you what, here's what's gonna happen. Look, we're canceling Nightwing, but you're getting solo Metal Man books for all the characters.
They've all been shot in the head by KGBs.
I call it the Metal Men Initiative. You're gonna love it. Coming next year, right after 5G.
Yeah, big fucking crisis. It's gonna turn everyone into Metal Men.
Everyone's gonna be a Metal Man. In the future, we'll all be Metal Men for 15 minutes. And the Metal Men, hey, what do you got new this time, Dan? Okay, well, the Metal Men now drive a Cybertruck.
Yeah, and the Cybertruck is also a metal man.
Mm-hmm. And the Metal Man Cybertruck is powered by marijuana. See, that's futury. That's different. Cybertruck goes on a lot of podcasts and has a really dark family history. Yeah, that's about right.
Scott Lobdell will write 90% of them.
Oh, no. And Keith Rockefort is going to draw them. It's going to be a great new series. Great new series. Everyone's going to love it. 100 years, Metal Man. 100 years. Why does Dan DiDio hate Wallace? We've talked about that a lot, Tevya. He hates all young heroes because they make him feel old.
Yep, he hates all the legacy heroes.
Why. Damn it, it's not like when I grew up. Moving on from there, we actually got a little bit of movie news here. This one, we said we didn't, but we actually did have a little taste of movie news. Josh Trank, the director of the much maligned Fan Four Stick movie, took to Twitter this week, and instead of doing something really silly, which you think this is where this story is going to go, he actually did something kind of cool and funny. He went to that website Letterboxd, which I guess lets you review movies and everything. I've heard of it, but I've never actually used it. Mm-hmm. He did his own review of his own movie, Fan Four Stick, and it was very funny and it was very self-referential, and I enjoyed it.
It was very funny.
It was. Basically, he's like, okay, first let's talk about the cast. They were great. This isn't their fault.
Yeah, so leave them alone. Don't leave Miles Teller alone. He's an asshole.
Yeah, Miles Teller's a bit of a dickhead in real life. You can not leave him alone if you don't want to. But everyone else was nice, as we can see, because they all went on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's basically like, look, he was like 23 or something, wasn't he, when he did this movie? He was very young.
Yeah, I think this was like his first real big studio film, because he did obviously Chronicle, and then after that got like obviously as they do nowadays. You get a director who does like a little indie film that does really well, and you give him the next big tentpole movie. The next, as Red Letter Meter says, he will be directing the next Hobbs and Shaw film or something.
Which, and sometimes that's work. Sometimes you get Mark Webb on the Spider-Man movie. Sometimes you get all this other stuff. Sometimes you get this poor guy who even says, I got thrown into the deep end of the pool in an unwinnable situation in a studio pissing match that I couldn't possibly have won. And yeah, this is the movie I made, everyone. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Has he done anything since? Because I remember they were really, and this even too, looking back on it, where he seems like a pretty stable dude who's made peace with it. I know it seemed like Warner Brothers and the movie press were really painting him to be like some sort of prima donna diva monster. I know there was a whole story there going around. It's like, oh, and his dogs destroyed a house with their poop.
Yeah, and he was doing drugs and never really came to set.
Yeah, they were really painting him like a monster. I'm like, oh, was I wrong to believe that so easily when I did? Or is the truth somewhere in the middle? Did he get thrown into the deep end and that was how he coped with drugs and letting his dogs poop everywhere?
He is actually doing something. He's making a Al Capone movie at the moment with Tom Hardy.
Oh, I was going to ask about that. I was going to say, what's he doing next?
Yeah, Al Capone movie.
That's cool. Because again, it's obviously he was a talented director, making something weird like Chronicle work and everything. So, it's nice to see that he hasn't been fully run out of Hollywood on a rail just yet.
Yeah, not yet. If this movie bombs, though.
Yeah, if you screw up again, Josh Trank, it's out on a rail again.
Yeah, well, remember as well, he was, around the time Fan Four Stick came out, he was set to direct a Star Wars film, possibly a Boba Fett one. And then, he had, that meltdown on opening weekend on Twitter where he's telling people not to see the film, and then suddenly it's oh, that Star Wars movie might not be happening now.
Yeah, that's right, man. I'm sure if you go back and listen to our episodes around that time, I'm sure we just, totally roasted this dude and made fun of him. But, what a big difference a self-aware movie review can make. And as the chat is sure to say, yeah, sure, you didn't get to do that possible Boba Fett movie, but now we got Mandalorian, so that's another reason to like Josh Trank.
Is it though?
Thanks. I don't know, man. I don't know. If I was him, that's what I would start saying. Look, I had to have my dogs poop and destroy that house, or else you wouldn't have gotten Baby Yoda in the future. I knew.
Yeah, I knew what was going to happen, and me and John Favreau got our dogs together and went and pooped in the house.
It was a whole operation. We started, 8 to 8 in the morning, and then it's like, look, you got to do all these drugs too, man.
Yeah.
Just come on, take one for the team, for the Mandalorian.
Nothing but poops and drugs.
All day, every day. Before we called this show the Comic Multiverse, we almost called it Poops and Drugs. It's a good thing we didn't, because, that's very, very unchild friendly, very uncoppa friendly.
Yes.
They wouldn't like that.
No.
Man, I know we kind of joked about that last week, and I've only researched it more, and I've only talked about it with other YouTubers and everything. Man, everyone is so fucking freaked out about this now. Like, I'm a glass half full guy. I'm an optimist, and I'm like, it's fine. It'll be fine. We'll all be cool. And then, I walk into a room, and I'm like, why are you guys all freaking out, though? Why?
Why is the printer on fire? Why is everything burning?
Yeah, why are you guys stealing copper wire out of the building right now? Why are you guys writing your last will and testament? Like, no, I thought we were all gonna joke about this and be like, wait for YouTube to shit the bed again. Oh, wow, you're all taking this really seriously.
Yeah.
I actually heard there's a great video out there, Professor Thorgy, who of course was in our Dungeons and Dragons video, comic book YouTuber. He actually name dropped me in his video as well. He talked about the whole issue in great detail, and he came to a rather interesting theory near the end of it, where it's like, why would YouTube and Google allow something like this to happen when there's so clearly a third option in this one, and just say, I made this video for all ages? Well, the answer is that maybe YouTube doesn't actually want independent creators anymore. Maybe it wants a reason to get rid of them so they can just have clips of The Tonight Show and, John Oliver and all these other shows, so YouTube can maybe actually make some money as just a clip library and not be where it is now, where YouTube and Google are constantly having to vet everyone and like, oh no, PewDiePie said what again?
Yeah, it's definitely going that way, and as you said, it's probably going to become a glorified clip show, or they'll introduce something that they'll continually push on creators, or it's like, make clips, like kind of like how Twitch has that highlights thing you can do.
Right.
They'll be like, make your 2-minute video into a highlights. I'm like, it's fucking 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes, guys.
I almost don't want to say this because this is such a terrible idea. They might actually do it, where it's like, look, if you're a major corporation or a major studio, you get unlimited length. If you are just a regular creator like everyone else, guess what? We're going back to a 2-minute time limit. You got to make short videos like you did when YouTube started. Deal with it, fuckers.
No.
Because that's some shit they would do, where it's like, are you ready to leave yet? Are you all going to go now?
Yeah, or they'll do something where it's like, oh yeah, you can have like, like what we do, we put this show up on YouTube. You can like have like a 2-hour video on there, but like ads will only play like 10% of it or something, or you'll be demonetized because it goes over the threshold or something.
Oh shit, that's some stupid shit they do. Or they just go full Vimeo and they're like, tell you what, you have to give us money now to put it up. How does that sound? You have to actually pay us now.
Oh god.
Here's the thing. If you're a Patreon, I've actually been doing like special Patreon commentary tracks over there just for fun. I know I'm behind on it for this month, everyone. I'm sorry. I've been having a rough one. I promise I'm going to try and get it when I'm feeling funnier. But I upload those on Vimeo because their copyright stuff is like way easier.
Oh, nice.
And they're kind of like, hey, everything goes, but also I do these monthly because you only get like, you can really only upload one like 22-minute video once a month before you got to start paying.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, it's a little rough. Like you can buy more stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm already paying $15 a month to keep the podcast up somewhere people can listen to it. Do I really want to start paying the same to keep my YouTube videos up there? And then it's like, are they even going to turn a profit over on video? I've also started backlogging a bunch of my longer videos I don't want to lose over on Twitch now as well.
Yeah.
But everything's fine, kids. Everything's cool. Mom and dad aren't getting divorced or anything. Everything's gonna be fine. Let's go for ice cream. No, but seriously, it is like, what is it? Like a better safe than sorry type thing. And hey, if you are a patron and if you're watching the show and if you're donating to the live stream, thank you everyone.
Yeah.
If the shit does hit the fan, you'll be seeing Matt and me on Twitch a whole lot more.
Yeah, a whole lot more stuff coming to Patreon.
Man, it creeps me out too because it's like, God, or like it freaks me out too because it's like, oh God, if that happens and there's a massive YouTuber exodus and everybody comes to Twitch to try and recoup their losses, what would that be like? Just like a massive Twitch overload.
Well, then that raises the questions like, oh, does like Twitch now start changing?
Ugh.
I hope not.
I hope not too, because as it stands, Twitch is like the one thing for guys like you and me where it's like, look, you can kind of make a living here if you reach a certain point and if your fans are generous enough. And our fans are super cool and super generous, so we might be able to make it, but we might also not be. And God damn it, I'm a college dropout who wanted to make art, damn it. Are you telling me I gotta go back to school? My life will literally be community. I will be the old guy there, and they're like, hey, what are you doing here? 20, probably 30-something by that point. I made money on the YouTubes back in the day. I was a video maker. They took everything from me. Yeah, I have more free time now. I read comics I like now, and not because I have to. No, I kind of do that anyway. But all right, let's push that doom and gloom aside for a minute there, everyone. And we got, what do we got next up here? Ooh, Iron Man 2020 is a big new... It's an event spinning out of the Iron Man book that Dan Slott is writing, but it's also its own mini-series as well. I guess it was so big and kind of its own thing. Arno Stark will be becoming Iron Man somehow, some way. Don't ask me how.
Well, he's kind of on his way to it at the moment. He's working behind his brother's back and everything, and kind of building his own little empire.
He's going to be a sinister Iron Man because, as we've seen, unlike Tony, who believes, technology can uplift everyone and be a gift to all mankind, Arno's like, fuck you, plebs, you don't deserve it. Only I deserve it. But, yeah, seems to be an interesting story. I'm, like, one issue behind on Slott's Iron Man, which I've been enjoying it. I think he's doing some cool stuff with AI, and the story basically seems to be in the year 2020. That's next year, Matt. That's coming very soon.
Couple of weeks.
I know, in a couple of weeks. Goddamn, don't remind me. But yes, in a couple of weeks, 2020. Apparently, there's a robot uprising in the Marvel universe, which actually makes a lot of sense because they've actually been talking a bunch about robot rights in that book, and is artificial intelligence real intelligence? So makes sense.
Yeah, it's been building for quite a while, and I'm intrigued to see. Like, obviously, because I guess maybe Arno is going to be, like, part of that. Like, maybe we'll find out he orchestrated it all or something.
Arno was a robot all along, not a weird alien clone or whatever the fuck his origins. Alien test tube, baby. That was the Kieran Gillen years when I just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, where Tony Stark was an alien or something.
Yeah, well, Tony Stark was adopted. He's not the Stark's real kid. Arno was the real kid, but then an alien came, and it's a whole goddamn thing. And ultimately doesn't really matter, because Tony isn't even Tony anymore. He's a weird, like, genetic clone with his memories implanted, and he's worried about his own humanity.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is fun. There's going to be a couple tie-in series happening at the same time. Machine Man is going to be getting like a 3-issuer, which is pretty cool. I like Machine Man.
I've liked what they've been doing with Aaron. He's been a pretty cool character in the Tony Stark Iron Man book.
He's a funny character. Obviously, people remember him from what was that team book? It was him and also Bloodstone. Why can't I remember this?
I can't remember either.
It was like a funny stoner comedy in the superhero universe. It was Batman's Grave Rider who's doing it. Why is this escaping me? Am I really that out of it?
I can't remember it.
The chat will remind us. But yeah, I wonder if they're going to make him serious, if they're going to make him funny, if they're going to be somewhere in the middle. But that's cool. The one that actually got me excited, and this is probably the one no one is excited for, but they're bringing back ForceWorks, Matt. ForceWorks.
They are, and it's like a really cool team makeup, and Matthew Rosenberg is writing it, so that's going to be definitely on my pull list.
Next Wave. Thank you, Jersey Luck.
That's right. Next Wave.
Agents of Hay, which is a very fun cult book. You know who loves Next Wave and who talks about it all the time on their podcast? Macaulay Culkin.
Really?
Yes, Macaulay Culkin is a giant nerd. He loves comics and wrestling and Disneyland, and he loves Next Wave, and we'll talk about it all the time. To the point where it's like his friends who are on the show are clearly annoyed, where it's like, oh god, here's Mac talking about Next Wave again. This will be 20 minutes. We're not going to get back. But yeah, Force Works, it's going to be a 3-issue miniseries. It's Rosenberg, who obviously we're huge fans of on this show. You'll notice the team composition on this is kind of interesting, and I feel that Rosenberg is going to weave some interesting threads in there. You got Nick Fury Jr. Leading the pack with a brand new costume, too.
Yeah. New costume spinning out of his stuff in Punisher.
Yeah, which is very interesting, because if you read that Rosenberg Punisher book, Nick Fury Jr. was basically the villain of that entire series.
Yeah, he kind of came out of nowhere in that end with the villain stuff, but yeah, overarching story is the villain, and as well kind of in Captain America a little bit as well.
Yeah, they've kind of been moving him into an interesting direction where it's like there's no shield anymore, so he's kind of out for himself, but out for whatever nebulous government forces are still employing him. Yep. It's an interesting time for him. You got Quake on the team, which again, nice little TV show connection, but also Rosenberg wrote her in that like Inhumans Resistance thing from Secret Empire.
Yep.
So we got that character. We got War Machine in here, which is funny because in his Punisher book, when that began, Punisher stole the War Machine armor.
Yeah. So are they going to reference that? Wouldn't it be cool if it's like Frank hiding in the armor?
Oh, they say, hey, I actually stole it. It's me. I'm back. That would be fun. Mockingbird, same deal. She's kind of been shown to be part of Fury's Black Ops Avengers, which shows up mainly in the Rosenberg books, but I like that concept.
Yeah.
That there is just this Black Ops Avengers team going around that's so secret they don't even have a book. And lastly, U.S. Agent, and I am just endlessly fascinated by U.S. Agent whenever he shows up in anything. Johnny Walker, named after a whiskey. I'm the right-wing Captain America.
Yeah, it's almost like he's got a TV show coming out soon.
It's almost like he's going to be in a TV show or something. I have thought for so long that you could make an amazing comedy book out of U.S. Agent with the current political climate. Like, again, get the Prez guy, get the Wonder Twins guy writing about U.S. Agent, and I think it would be really fucking funny.
That would be pretty fucking cool. I'd really like that. If Mark Russell wrote that, yeah.
My pitch would always be where it's like John Walker's like, oh, I need to get hip. I need to get with the children on the internet and everything. What's happening in the right-wing centers of the internet right now? Oh my.
Oh no, these people are wrong.
These people are like, he'd either be super into it, he's like, yes, finally, but then, or he'd like go to like one of their rallies and he'd be like, oh, I have come to the wrong place.
Yeah, what the fuck are these kids doing?
Because the thing about U.S. Agent is that he's right-wing Captain America, but he's not necessarily evil because
no, he's
of
not
that.
hardcore right-wing like you see in the news or anything. No.
He's like how Reagan like portrayed himself in every interview. It's like, and we're gonna get on our white horses and we're gonna we're gonna fight the evil forces wherever they might be. The best U.S. Agent bit was actually in the Sam Wilson Captain America book when Nick Spencer was writing it, when like this big evil cabal of like a Bill O'Reilly TV host and these weapons manufacturers, who you find out later, at least a couple of them were Hydra. They're like, hey, John, we love what you're doing and everything. We really hate that a black man is Captain America. Can you go deal with it? And he's like, why do you think I would want to do that? He's like, well, it's just your whole thing. He just thought, he's like, look, I don't like what Sam Wilson has to say. I don't agree with him, but look, Steve Rogers was the greatest American of all time, and he gave the shield to Sam, so obviously, he must be the right man for the job. And then they like really stick the screw into him, and they're like, look, tell you what, go do this and we'll arm your friends overseas, and if you don't do it, we won't arm them. And he's like, well, fuck, you've kind of twisted my nipples now on this one. I guess I have to go do it. And I'm like, that's a really good bit of characterization for U.S. Agent. He's not a dick. He's a dick, but he's not a villain. he's complicated, and I like that, and I think you could make a really good comedy out of that, where like US Agent gets himself into situations and be like, oh, you guys are so much worse than me.
Yeah, or like he's like through a series of wacky events is forced to like protect like a like an opposing like senator or something, and then he gets to experience like all the like hardcore right wingers coming for that senator or something, and be like, oh, these people are terrible. I don't want them to represent me.
Yeah, hey, Bernie Sanders, Schmurny Schmanders keeps getting death threats by Hydra and the Watchdogs. You got to go protect him because you're a hero. Okay. And then, like, they have, like, a wacky road adventure, and they learn from each other. And by the end, John Walker's like, well, what is it? The healthcare system we have right now is truly broken, and it's hurting people in the heartland more than ever before. And, it's really hurting the service men and women. And, I just think, morality and legality are two completely different things. See, look, we're writing an amazing story right here. But yeah, ForceWorks, I am weirdly excited for this, especially because I have been shitting on and making fun of ForceWorks forever as one of the lamest superhero teams ever, where it's like, look, it's Iron Man and these people you don't give a fuck about.
Yeah. Hey, if anyone can make it work, it's Matthew Rosenberg.
It's true. The man works magic. He truly, truly does.
Yeah.
What else we got going on after that? Speaking of ForceWorks, people forget that back in the day, Spider-Woman was on the team. No, not the Spider-Woman you know and love, Jessica Drew. The other Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
Who you've already forgotten about, the one who wasn't the young one who became Madam Web. But Jessica Drew, ironically, is coming back. She's got a brand new solo series spinning out of Strike Force, which I keep meaning to read and I keep forgetting, and I'm really sorry about that because I like Teenie Howard, but I'm reading Excalibur, so it's like, look, I'm reading one of your books. But yeah, she's getting a new series, but really the thing that's got people super excited about this is she's going back to the old costume.
She is. She's got her old costume, and on the cover, it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. I know some people are like super hardcore Spider-Woman fans and love her to death. Dylan Orem, who you've probably seen on Orem Loves Comics, this probably made his goddamn day to know that Spider-Woman is finally going to be in something new. And I have to wonder, bringing her back to her classic costume and everything, does that mean you think they might be priming her for some sort of movie or TV show or something to get her back to the way people have always known her?
I could see that. I don't think they'd introduce Spider-Woman, but probably Jessica Drew, maybe.
Into something, yeah. I mean, hey, if what's going on with Spider-Man is true like we think it is and we're only getting one more Tom Holland movie, wouldn't it be something if by the time that's done? And next up we have Spider-Woman coming out. Yes, we know that she has nothing to do with Peter Parker and isn't really connected by anything more than the name, but we're hoping when Joe and Jane Popcorn buy their tickets, they don't know that. I could see them doing some shit like that.
I can see the angry neckbeards already. They've turned Spider-Man into a woman.
Yeah, really. Oh god, do we have to have this conversation again?
And it's always from channels that say they read lots of comics and are in with the pop culture, but obviously they're not, because they know she's no relation.
Yeah, all these fake nerd channels out there, because, outrage is clickies, Matt, and clickies is money.
Yeah.
Gotta get them. Also, too, there might be a fun angle to it as the chat brings up, hey, she's a single mom and everything. You imagine they would be able to spin that into a pretty noteworthy movie. Hey, single mom superhero. There you go.
And it'd be funny as well. Like, I know the stuff I've read when her child was born and everything, I thought it was pretty funny. Like, she has to deal with like having a child and like giving it to other super people to like babysit while she goes out superheroing and stuff. That's pretty funny.
And everyone asking to the point where it becomes an ongoing bit, on-running bit where it's like, who's the father? I don't have to tell you. I'm like, okay, fair. Again, I think you could make like a pretty slick comedy out of Spider-Woman. But yeah, there you go, everyone. That's the news this week. A lot of comic-centric stuff.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. So do we want to hop on over to what we read this week?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Where would you like to start, Matt? Because there is so much as always.
Let's start where we always start, with Batman.
you gotta get it out of the way, right? You gotta get it done. Yeah. So Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, so Batman wasn't shot, apparently, even though he was. He's completely fine. Completely fine. Even though last issue we did see him get shot and there was blood and everything. But he's completely fine.
Yeah, Batman shrugs off bullets like they're nothing.
And
They were rubber bullets.
and he spends the whole time in the room. I compared this issue to The Room. Specifically the scene where Tommy trashes his entire apartment. Because that's literally what the issue was. He trashes his entire dining room or one of the many rooms of Wayne Manor.
Well, Matt, I mean, everyone betray me, Batman. I'm fed up with this world. That's basically what his dialogue was.
Yeah, that like intercut between two full-length fucking poems.
Yes, which, man, on one hand, I'm like, this is really just shamelessly padding for time to give two full-length Longfellow poems, but at the same time, too, man, what a genius way to write like half as much as you normally would, but still get paid the full amount.
That's exactly it. Like it's funny you should mention that. I actually saw, I think even Tom King posted this himself. Like it was like for a page for like one of his scripts for Batman, and it was just like panel, and it's just had like a very vague description of what would happen, but it was like 3 words. And I'm like, oh, so that's like all you write on a page and just let the artist do whatever. Oh, that makes a lot of sense of why your book is crap.
Which, in fairness, that's the Marvel method. That's how things used to be. But at least Stan Lee had the like excuse of, I am writing so many books at such a rate, I need to do this or nothing would ever get done.
And at least like Stan Lee, like the characters actually spoke properly and were human and there was content there.
It's funny, too, is that, like, Batman barely speaks in this issue at all because it's all a letter that Alfred wrote to Batman, but who we never actually see him pick up, talking about his death and how, you shouldn't be sad and I love you so much and don't blame yourself for this. Batman then fully blames himself for the rest of the issue.
Yeah, it breaks down crying. It's the first time we've ever seen emotion in Batman, but it's done in a way that's, like, it shouldn't have been done. Should have been done way sooner.
This is also multiple issues before where Batman's like, no, Alfred's fine. I talked to him. He's fine. But we as the reader is like, but he's not, though. Why do you stupidly think this?
Yeah. Why? Like, for someone who apparently, let Bane do all of this over the past 70 odd issues and knew all of this was happening, you didn't know Alfred was dead? You didn't know he was going to get killed?
Alfred wrote me a letter. How did you get letters out of the city to wherever you were hiding? Don't ask. He wrote me a letter. Isn't that enough for you?
Oh,
not really.
God.
And then we find out that Catwoman is brainwashed and all the other sidekicks are brainwashed by the Psycho Pirate, who apparently will now just follow anybody.
That's the thing, like, how can this not all be the Psycho Pirate's doing? Like, all of this the Psycho Pirate has done because... reasons. He just like follows Bane's orders or something, but Bane's not allowed now, so now he follows Thomas Wayne's orders.
I really don't understand how Psycho Pirate has gone from a character to literally just a tool for other characters to use.
Also, but City of Bane, like Bane was in this like 2 issues and now he's dead.
That's
and the book is still called City of Bane.
I feel, again, because here's the thing about Tom King. I know we do a lot trying to, like, figure out what kind of person he is, what kind of artist and creator he is. I think this is Tom King at his cheekiest, where it's like, I'm going to write a story called City of Bane, and he's barely going to factor into it.
God damn it. Because it's not Bane City, and it probably wasn't even really his city to begin with, because it seems like Thomas Wayne was in charge of everything.
It really did from the beginning, even though we saw him get beaten up by Batman in the desert, but then we jumped ahead to the future. Don't ask how long we jumped to the future. It's just the future.
Yeah. And he's now in charge of everything, and for some reason he thinks like this is the way that will show Batman to show Bruce to stop being Batman, and that means like killing Alfred, which is really funny because it was Thomas Wayne of the Flashpoint, his wife dying, quote unquote, and his son dying is what cause him to become Batman, and he thinks doing the exact same thing to Bruce is going to stop him from being Batman.
It just makes no sense. This character not only just doesn't gel with the version that we saw in Flashpoint, it doesn't even gel with the version of the character we saw in The Button. No. I truly believe that speech where it's like, oh, you got to stop being Batman, you know, that's what I want for you. That had to have been a Williamson or a Jeff Johns invention.
I think it was Jeff Johns, because The Button was co-written with Jeff Johns, and that felt like...
Right.
Like, because that whole thing was like there was no like malice intent or anything in his words or anything, and it was like a family moment where he's like, just stop being Batman, you know, give up the life and live it with Selena or whoever you want. And that he wasn't like saying, oh, give it up or I'll fucking break your legs and kill Alfred and whatnot.
I feel like King grabbed onto that little piece of dialogue and said, oh, I'm going to make this a big part of my book now.
Yeah, but completely misunderstand like the type of meaning behind it, the attitude behind it.
Also, too, it's like maybe he saw what was going on with, again, another Jeff Johns thing, when he saw what was going on with Jor-El coming back as Mr. Oz. I was like, ooh, that's fun. I want to do that here.
Yeah, I want to make like Batman's dad a dick.
Because reasons. And also not tell you the important hows and whys until the very end.
Well, next issue, the penultimate issue, we apparently get the secret origin of Thomas Wayne. I'm like, it doesn't even, like, this should have happened the issue after he was introduced back into, like, the main continuity. We should have gotten an issue that explained it.
It should have been volumes ago. And again, it's like, who writes a story like this where you just have to keep reading when you don't know motivations? You know, the very important thing, the essence of drama.
Do you think that this is probably obviously left over when he had his 100 issues? Because, like, if it was happening in issue 84 and he's still at 100 issues, I could that would make sense to me. Like, okay, you still got, you know, 10 or so issues left to tell the rest of this story, but you, like, now that that's changed, you kind of have to change that as well. You can't do that story where you need 2 issues to finish off this story, not one. Or now that Tynion news has come out, half an issue, basically.
It just raises so many questions. Why?
Oh my god.
Just why? So I'm done with this one. What about you?
I'm done. Well, let's talk about a better Batman book, and that was Batman Superman issue 4.
I didn't actually get a chance to read this one. That's how far behind I am. But do tell all the same.
It was cool. We got to see all the Secret Six assemble. The Batman and Superman team are like fighting the Hawkman and was it Donna Troy in the fortress. And then the other ones come, and then Supergirl arrives to save the day, and the whole issue is them trying to infect Superman. Superman is meant to be the last member of the Secret Six, and he doesn't become the last member of the Secret Six because the Batarang that was meant for him actually infects Supergirl, because Supergirl catches it, not realizing what it is, and catching it infects her, and she turns into the infected Supergirl. And while we're at it, we'll talk about Supergirl issue 36, because that was this week. Oh, I just did talk about issue 36 because it's literally a shot for shot of Batman Superman issue 4, except it's couched between, because she's been dealing with Brainiac 1. That's what was happening elsewhere in the Fortress. Deeper in the Fortress, Brainiac 1 was trying to make a new body and everything, and he sent Supergirl to go protect the archive that he was in, and that's how she becomes infected. She goes back, kills Brainiac 1, and then decides, well, I'm not going to be part of the Secret Six. I'm going to go fucking party and do shit in the real world.
That sounds incredibly lazy.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, that Supergirl book has gotten such, like, the shaft lately. Poor Mark Andreyko, like, this is the second time it's happened, because it happened before in that Bendis book, where it was literally the exact same book, but with a different artist.
You can so tell where it's like, well, here's the pecking order, Mark, and you're here. Yeah,
which is a shame, because as I said in my review, I would have liked to have, like, because in the Batman Superman book, we learned that, like, when they're infected, the infected people, their deepest truths and deepest desires are, like, brought up. So, like, we get, like, Jaime, who sees himself as nothing but a weapon that these people use, and people think of him as a joke and everything. And like, why didn't they do that with Supergirl, where it's like, well, she's the strongest of the two, but she's always treated as like second best and all that sort of stuff. But that never came up at all.
Seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Hopefully they catch it. I know she's getting like another one shot as well. She's getting like a special one shot. Maybe they'll talk about it there. Although honestly, that first one shot with Shazam was so bad it made me not want to read the others.
Yeah, I haven't read the Scarab one, but apparently it's pretty cool.
No, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out at some point. What else we had? We had Marauders issue number 2, one of 2 X-Men books that came out this week.
Yeah, more Marauders. It was awesome.
Yeah, not a lot to talk about here. Like, I'd explain it, but it would sound boring. But basically, Sebastian Shaw, the Black King, enters the story, and him and Emma are having a dick measuring contest with each other to see who really controls the group, and them basically playing chess with each other and endlessly trying to one-up each other, and the Marauders kind of working as in-betweens. Batroc Zilipa shows up for a minute. That's fun.
Yeah, haven't seen him for a while.
No, you have not. Doing his regular merc work as he does. They pick up Bishop, who we saw was in Taipei at the end of the last issue, trying to handle mutant issues in the Asian world. Didn't go well for him, but this leads to a truly hilarious scene because, again, Marauders is a comedy. I don't think people get that it's supposed to be funny, that it's a straight-up comedy. Kitty, or Captain Kate, if you want to call her now, because she's an adult, has so much money, she basically hangs out at a tattoo shop, and it's like, yeah, tattoo my crew, please. And we kind of get to hear what everyone's take on tattoos are, and Aurora's like, I would never let a needle touch my skin, and Bishop's like, yeah, I'm kind of set up for tattoos, if you can't tell. Kind of can't do better than this. Iceman's being like, well, my body's already perfect, so I'm not gonna get another tattoo. Also, they finally answer the question if adult current day Bobby has come out of the closet, and I think the answer is an emphatic yes he has.
I think it was kind of a given.
It was. They were being kind of cheeky with it. I'm like, are they just gonna have him make snide references through the rest of this series? No, wait, he kind of came out and did it. All right, good for him. What's crazy is that the big final reveal here is that the Black King, Sebastian Shaw, realizes that he's never going to get what he wants, that Emma's already gone over his head and hired a new Red Queen. And we see her show up, and we see what her tattoo is, and she has knuckle tattoos that now read "Hold Fast," which is so fucking gangster.
Yeah, it was a great book. That's probably like, besides like the main X-Men book and the X-Force book, that's probably like my favorite of the smattering of books. Like Fallen Angels, I could probably do without reading. Excalibur I really like as well because I like the fantasy elements and stuff. But yeah, Marauders is like that good combination of comedy, action, drama, all that good stuff.
It's got a lot going for it, and it's Jerry Duggan, who Jerry Duggan just never gets the respect he deserves for putting in really hard work across the board. And writes stuff I like. What's funny about the Hold Fast tattoo is that they had already shown that on a variant cover, and I assumed that's a fun variant cover bit. What if Kitty had really gangsta ass tattoos, only to find out, oh no, she actually got them in real life.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I hope we get to see a bit more of them, and I hope eventually they just end up just being utter pirates and just cover themselves in tattoos. They kind of even got the parrot with Lockheed and everything.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
She's got a sword. Every issue she picks up more piratey things because she gets the sash, then she gets a cool red duster coat, then she gets the tattoos, and what's next? Is she gonna get a grill, just a big grill that says "Come at me"?
Yeah, she's gonna get slashed in the eye and have to wear an eye patch, and then one day get a peg leg or something. A hook hand or something.
The eye patch is just going to have a big red X over it,
or
an M for Marauders.
Yeah.
No, see, you can't have an M because Bishop already has an M over his eye.
Yeah.
That's why they wanted him on the team in particular, because he already.
Yeah, it's well, he's already got it. We might as well put him in the team.
I mean, it was either you or some other mutant whose name started with M. So there you go. Welcome to the team, bro. We could use your energy projection powers. But yeah, Marauders is lots of fun. I like that one. It's a cool book.
Yeah.
What else did you want to talk about?
What did I actually read this week?
It's a big week.
I had like a bunch of new number ones from Marvel as they set up their new events, Annihilation and 2099.
Oh, see, I did not read either of those. Annihilation I was probably going to read later, and 2099, which is spinning out of the Spider-Man book, I'm like almost, not like protesting, but I'm almost like trying to challenge myself to be like, all right, can I just follow this story within the pages of Spider-Man? But do tell all the same.
2099 one, just fucking skip. It was basically a stitched together previews book of like a bunch of those one shots that have come out, like Conan, Ghost Rider, and all that sort of stuff.
Punisher, yeah.
Yeah, the loose framing, which I don't think probably will factor into any of these books, is Doctor Doom is in year 2099 or sometime in the future. We're never really given an actual.
Well, Doctor Doom has always been there. Doctor Doom 2099 has always actually been him.
Yeah, well, we don't know whether it's 2099 or not. It never like gives us an actual date.
Interesting.
But I'm guessing it is because Miguel is there. We see Miguel get his powers when he's attacked by the Spider-Man, which is this weird spider creature, and it like coughs up AIDS blood into his face and whatnot.
Yikes.
We see Conan fighting through like hordes of raiders in the future. He actually looks pretty cool. He's like future Conan. He's got like a necklace full of like Iron Man fingers on his neck and everything. We get to see Herbie, the Fantastic Four robot, looking for his mother and his friends with Venture, the bounty hunter.
Cool.
We get to see what I assume it doesn't tell you which Ghost Rider it is. It's just a guy on a bike. And it's actually pretty cool because they live in Transverse City, which is a moving city, which there's no buildings or anything. It's all roads and everything moves. And as long as you can pay the tolls, you can stay in Transverse City, which is law free. It's like a lawless wasteland. And
it's the Purge 24/7.
Yeah, and he's like driving around grifting people out of their money and crashing their cars so they get arrested and shit. Punisher is there, but like they make it look like he's Iron Man because he's like forging an armor in like a forge, but it's Punisher. And yeah, the whole framework is Doctor Doom is using a captured Watcher to like see what's coming and see like what threats are out there for him to like combat before they happen.
Interesting. I wonder how that's going to tie into what's going on in Spider-Man now, where Doctor Doom is at the UN and one of Peter's friends has built basically a future crime device.
Yeah, the Clairvoyant.
Yeah, that issue came out this week, but again, I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I had to keep pushing it further and further back.
Yeah, so that issue you could probably like do without because it feels very like a previews book. The Annihilation one though, you probably do need to pick up.
Right.
So it's in the negative zone. Annihilus's forces are being wiped out by something called the Scourge. He thinks it's King Blaster's men because the infected men that attack him are King Blaster's men. So he goes to King Blaster and is like, "Hey, you fucking men attacking my men." And it's like, "Not me, not me. I thought you were attacking me." So they end up joining forces to battle this thing, and they're trying to find out the thing's master because it keeps saying it's going to bring everyone undying life, and if they choose to join them. They fight through it all. They like blow up solar systems and stuff to try and combat it. It doesn't work or anything. They end up fighting the negative zone Revengers, which is like the inverse of the Avengers.
I remember those guys.
They come to a point where they finally find out who their leader is, and the leader is the Sentry.
Oh, the new Sentry with like the red and black costume?
No, it's the old Sentry. The one
that's
with
confusing.
The yellowish orange costume.
That's confusing because they gave him a new costume and a new attitude recently. Huh? Does that mean this takes place before or like what?
Don't know.
All right. Well, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out now. I hope it wasn't an art error.
Oh yeah, no, it's because it's like a full page, so I don't think it would be an art error. And although maybe he's gone back to his old costume, or maybe this is like because the red one was technically void, So
Well, it was all of them together. They had
Yeah.
fused together.
so
and
maybe
the colors in there.
this is part of that. Like maybe it's something else.
Possibly.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to check that out now.
Yeah.
Someone in the DNG saying Sentry turns heel more than the Big Show. Yeah, you're not wrong, DNG. He kind of does. DNG also with another funny joke. They're saying, oh, so you're telling me Peter's friend built Ulysses? Yes, from Civil War II, only less stupid.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
Amazing Spider-Man saying Captain Marvel had her own heel turn this week. She did. I want to read that book, but I'm behind. But yeah.
Yeah.
So all right, what else did we have going on? This is really quick because the book was really anticlimactic in the end. What is it? Absolute Carnage #5.
Yeah, it kind of like sped all the way to the end. Though, as I said in my review, this felt like the beginning of Act 1, or like the end of Act 1.
Yes, it did.
This whole series was like the end of Act 1.
It certainly was. If you want to find out what happened next with Dylan and Eddie in the never-ending fight with Null, who is no doubt heading for Earth now, gotta go read Venom Island, which is the next storyline in the Venom book. And then when that's done, they'll probably do another big event with everyone.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people in my comments didn't like that it ended the way it did.
So abruptly.
I didn't mind it because I kind of knew it was like, oh, he's going to be continuing this story in his Venom run. And this is just like the big setup. And I was fine with it. It was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be, especially with that ending where he's like, oh, I'm your son. What?
Come again? I will say this, like, as a fan of the Venom book, it's fine and works perfectly well as if you're looking at it just as a chapter of Donny Cates' ongoing story.
Yeah.
As an event on its own, it's kind of a super abrupt ending.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I didn't read all of the tie-ins because I imagined they weren't.
You didn't need them.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like catching up on Spider-Man, I read that the second half of that Absolute Spider-Man book. I'm like, oh, well, this. Don't need any of this to understand any of the story, so I don't need any of the other tie-ins.
The Spider-Man tie-ins for Absolute Carnage dealt more with Kindred and Norman Osborn than it did with any of those other characters. It was a hell of a thing, I tell you.
Yeah.
But, Absolute Carnage ended really abruptly. One comic that was longer, though, was, of course, The Question, The Deaths of Vic Sage, the new Black Label book that came out this week.
Yeah, I've read half of this so far.
It's a long book, so I won't spoil the ending for you.
Very long.
But, basically, Jeff Lemire thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to take The Question all the way back to his Steve Ditko roots, where he is a card-carrying objectivist, which means he is a huge asshole who fights crime.
Yeah, and it's great.
It's a lot of fun, it's definitely one of those, like, oh, this is why people like this character. I think the most question-y moment, which is the most Steve Ditko-y moment they do, is it starts with Vic Sage, kind of breaking up a brothel and everything, and he beats up all the gangsters, and he's like, yes, the police will be coming soon to arrest you. Then he turns around and starts yelling at the prostitutes and blaming them and treating them like criminals instead of trafficked victims, and I'm like, yep, that's what an objectivist would do. You're either 100% good or 100% evil. That's what he would do. They also update Vic Sage's occupation. He's not a crusading journalist anymore. At least not a crusading journalist in print. He's a TV journalist now. He's like Larry King meets Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah. I like that I guess update of his life, and I think it fits his objectivism really well, especially in today's current climate.
Totally. It makes him like way more than just a Clark Kent ripoff, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Where he's like, look, I will invite you on my nightly news show, then I will fucking ambush you with stuff and be like, what are you gonna do now? But what's great too is that like other characters call him on it. Myra, who's in the book too, and she's like, Jesus, Vic, we used to be friends. What the fuck, man? Like, I'm in this broken system trying to work it, and I get my hands dirty. We can't all be 100% good or 100% evil. And he's like, you can't? I do not understand. What is this thing? And then from there, the book goes like full-on True Detective with like a cult and a conspiracy involving the rich and powerful and the founding of Hub City and maybe other lives that Vic Sage has led. You don't know.
Yeah, it leads to some very interesting places.
Again, I got a huge True Detective vibe when he starts investigating what's going on.
Yeah, this is just three questions, three issues, isn't it?
Is it? I thought it was 12. I could be wrong.
Oh, really? It's big one then.
I thought it was longer. I could be completely mistaken. Would not be the first time. Let's give that the old look-see. Vamp for time. Talk to the chat, man.
I assume it was going to be 3 or 4 because it's a Black Label book, and that usually those are like pretty quick, like 3 and done.
It's 4. It's one of 4.
Okay, cool.
So it's a little longer, but no, it's not a maxi.
I was going to say 12 issues. I was like, I want to read it, but I don't want to read 12 issues of it.
I know. Amazing Spider-Man saying, I wonder if Jonah Hex will show up in the book. Potentially, depending on how it ends, without spoiling too much. That's a potentiality. Also, when's Jonah Hex just going to get his own Black Label book? Because, like, seriously, this shit was made for him.
Yeah, he's not Batman, so... Or Batman adjacent.
No, he's not. Okay, well, what if Batman travels back in time to the Old West as he is known to do and hangs out with Jonah Hex?
Written by Brian Michael Bendis.
Oh.
Hey, he wrote Batman and Jonah Hex together in that Batman Universe book.
He actually did, and apparently it's really good, so apparently that might actually be a good book. Which, Jesus Christ, that makes me feel super conflicted when I know that Brian Michael Bendis is showing Jonah Hex more love than any other writer has. Maybe that's his thing where it's like, look, if I just keep writing people's cult favorite characters, they'll be so happy that I brought them back they won't be mad at me for all the other things I do. It's the perfect plan.
Yeah, but they'll still be mad.
But they'll still be mad. Aw. But I'm getting paid a lot of money, so it's fine. But yeah, that's the question. The question is fun stuff. Definitely the sort of material that is suited for Black Label. No doubt about that.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it definitely sounds like a book that should have probably launched Black Label.
Yes, it should have. No doubt about that. I have 3 left, Matt.
Cool. I think I've probably got about 3 left as well.
Cool.
I had let's see. I had Flashpoint issue 3. Flash Forward issue 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, really? They did another Flashpoint when I wasn't paying attention?
Yes, and it's fixing everything.
Oh, good. Oh, goody good. So yeah, tell me about the Flash Forward. What's Wally up to now on his depression quest?
Well, Wally's not depressed anymore. He's suddenly not depressed anymore. He's
well, that's lucky.
Traveling from world to world, stopping this dark multiverse energy, and he stops at Earth. I think it's 43, which is full of vampires, thanks to Batman turning everyone into vampires. And he's got to stop them, and he stops some of them. He stops the evil Ultraman, and then meets up with Roy Harper of that world, who's like a vampire hunter. And
that's kind of cool.
He runs around with Roy for all of like 10 seconds before Roy's killed by vampire Batman. And then the book ends.
We brought him back just to kill him again, because fuck you, Roy fans.
This book was way too quick. Like it's cool seeing them hop from world to world and get to explore the multiverse, yeah. But like Barry just kind of got over like everything pretty quickly. Like when we started this book, he was at like the lowest point. He was so depressed and everything, and now he's like, I am, the fastest speedster in the multiverse. I'm here to save everyone. I'm hope for everyone. And I'm like, you weren't doing this last issue. You were like still, depressed and everything. And now all of a sudden he's changed, and he even like still sees like the faces of his victims, the people that he killed. But he's like, oh, I don't like this. But then like immediately forgets about it.
Just tune it out. Tune out the screams of the dead. Just tune them out.
And then, goddamn, his team up with Roy is like, all of 10 seconds. They barely get a chance to like talk. Like, obviously, it's not his Roy, but he should be like filled with guilt over what he did and everything, and
how
like
screwed over he got in particular.
Yeah, and like all this sort of stuff, but like none of that. He's like, oh, we'll team up to go like kill evil Batman, and
Meh.
then you'll
Live
die.
and let live.
Then you'll die, and then I'll realize that I needed to stop treating you like a victim and more like a hero. I'm like, what? What?
Live and let live. Well, maybe not live, but you won't.
I did say Barry, but I did mean Wally. You knew what I meant.
You knew. We all knew. So that book sounds to be proceeding exactly as I assumed it would.
Yeah, it's not as worse as I thought it was going to be, but it's like, why? Why is this happening?
It doesn't fix any of the problems left over from Heroes in Crisis because Scott Lobdell isn't the sort of person who fixes anything.
It doesn't fix them. It tries to sweep them under the rug. Like, that never happened. What are you talking about? Get out of here with your fake news.
I read it, though. I saw it. I read the whole thing.
I have it right here.
No, you don't. Starts eating the pages from Heroes in Crisis. Look, if I just eat all the pages from Heroes in Crisis, then it never happened. I mean, solid plan, I guess. What else do we have going on here? Ooh, I had Immortal Hulk.
Ooh, tell me what's going on in that book.
So, yeah, the Hulk has become a crusader for righteous anger now, and with his new black budget and Metal Gear Solid base of operation, he has decided he is going to strike back at corporate America and all the things that have been said to be too big to fail. Yeah. His first target is Roxxon, which, of course, is run by Dario Agger, who's a fucking minotaur.
Yep.
And Agger's like, I don't like this. I don't like this shit at all. This is going to be bad for business. if the Hulk wants to pick a fight with us, we got to go on the offensive first. And the Hulk and Dr. McGowan are building a teleporter machine so they can send him to take out important Roxxon infrastructure. And we see a guy in the Roxxon board meeting. His name is Higgins. And he's shown to be the one guy with a heart. And he's like, but so is the Hulk telling the truth, right? About the global warming and how the Earth is dying and how we're all to blame for it and everything. And we only got 12 more livable years. Only for Agger to be like, hey man, so that 12 years quote, yeah, we at Roxxon paid for that study. It's actually half that. But don't worry, though. I made that deal with the Dark Elves during War of Realms. I've got property in the other realms now when the Earth literally cooks itself to death, so I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I can go make Otisburg and all these other places.
Yeah, and also, too, when I actually started working for this company, Roxxon was working on a renewable energy source. It was coming along great, too, but then I became president and said, now I got to shift all that money to weapons, because imagine how we're going to clean up when the farms can't grow any more food and people are going to start killing each other for food. We're going to sell so many weapons. So again, it's literally Al Ewing being and this is how corporate America thinks, and this is how they work, and how they hate all of you. And Higgins is but how do we keep getting away with this? You sold out Earth to the elves. Why did more people not get mad at you? And he's oh, well, you see, Roxxon also owns Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and everything else, and we use that to create spin and everything. It's really our most valuable thing we own.
Yeah, the Dark Elf bots are in full effect, smoke screening everyone.
AstroTurfing. Yeah, it's all Dark Elves at a server farm somewhere else.
Yeah, somewhere in Niflheim or something.
Getting paid 5 slugs an hour to work on it. But no, they actually do have a server farm on Earth, and that's where the Hulk is attacking. That's his first place. He's destroying their propaganda machine, basically, and we see Hulk fight a bunch of the Berserker soldiers, which are Roxxon mercs shot up with dragon blood that Jason Aaron invented for his Thor run.
Nice.
And he beats the crap out of them. He shatters the Great Delusion and destroys the machines, and Ariel's okay, we might actually be fucked now, people. I didn't see this coming at all. And then we're reminded, too, where it's wait, so is the Hulk unstoppable? No, the light still bothers him because that's a new thing Ewing created where he's basically a werewolf, the Devil Hulk.
Yeah.
But Hulk's feeling so good after basically destroying Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. He's you know what? We're doing so good right now. Hey, Dr. McGowan, how about you science me up something that doesn't make light hurt me anymore? And I'm that feels like you should have started there first, but all right, that's pretty sweet.
I'm surprised they haven't somehow worked in remember that time it was in All New All Different when Hulk had armor?
Yeah, that's right. That was the Wade run.
Yeah, they're we'll bring that back, and cause reasons.
I mean, that was when he was traveling through time too, man. That was a good run. Yeah, this book is crazy. Like, it's always been crazy. What with the whole I'm going to turn Hulk into a Lovecraftian horror story where he fights the devil and goes to space and everything else. And now Ewing being like, I'm going to make the Hulk the most socially responsible hero of all time who fights against the megacorps and corruption in our government and everything else, because I bet you didn't think the Hulk would do that. And I'm like, I agree. And to have it make sense, and where it's like, look, the Hulk has always been about anger, but he's always been getting angry at the wrong things. What if the Hulk had like actual righteous fury?
Yeah, it's like, oh no, that makes him nigh like unstoppable, even though he was before.
Yeah, but now he's even more unstoppable. And it's also, too, where Agger's like, look, if you pull up big business like us, there will be chaos in the world. We're the only thing keeping this all together. And as we've seen from the weird future issues, the devil eventually does take over Hulk, and Earth is ultimately destroyed, and Hulk goes around clotheslining other planets. So how do we get there? DNG saying the Hulk is basically accessed Rick Sanchez levels of science. Yeah, basically, he might as well be Rick now. He teleports, yeah. He hates the government, and he hates the institutions, basically.
Is he going to become the Pickle Hulk?
Oh, well, he's already green, so he's halfway there.
And he technically already has become Pickled Hulk, because he was in, like, pickle jars at that one point where he's cut up.
He kind of was, wasn't he? Hey, Rick Jones, I turned myself into a pickle. Why, Bruce? To prove that I could undo it. Really, Hulk? Really? Yes. This is where we're at now. Actually, new Rick and Morty premieres tonight, doesn't it?
Yeah, I haven't been watching it.
It's been a good season.
Yeah.
There's some funny ones. I really liked the first one. Morty gets a crystal that lets him see all eventual ways that he's going to die.
Oh, Jesus.
Only he actually kind of turns against Rick on this one because he sees in one of his many possible deaths, he dies old with Jessica, the girl he loves. So he's like, well, I'm just going to keep living my life and keep moving in any direction that takes me to this eventual fate. And he basically ends up becoming fucking Akira.
Oh, nice.
Like, the cops try and shoot him, and it's like, no, you can't stop me because I see every way that I'm going to die, so I just have to avoid it. So yeah, it's been a funny season so far. I've been digging it. I've also been going back and listening to the commentary for season 3. Boy, they got some weird people to do commentary just because they're fans.
Really? They didn't just get writers and the creators to do it?
Oh, they did that too, but they have like 3 commentary tracks per episode.
Oh, okay.
And some are just pure celebrity fans. One was Marilyn Manson and Courtney Love did a commentary of the Pickle Rick episode.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. Peter Dinklage and Weiss and the other guy from Game of Thrones, they did an episode as well.
Oh, jeez.
And I stopped that one right there. I'm like, nope, dealing out, nope. God, it would be funny to hear what they have to say. Man, this is so well written. We're good writers, aren't we? Just like before everything went to hell and they were, revealed to be,
huge hack frauds.
The word hack fraud gets thrown around a lot on the internet these days, but never has it been more applicable than it has been for these 2 D&D fellows. You hack frauds. But yeah, Immortal Hulk is great, and it's fucking crazy, and it's also bringing out a lot of crazy commenters too because it's talking about what it's talking about.
I can imagine your comment section, yeah.
Again, I've had to ban so many people. One guy was like, oh, they've turned Hulk into an SJW. I'm like, so wanting to stop evil corporations
because he cares for the Earth means he's an SJW?
Because he doesn't want us all to die when we run out of food and when the Earth boils itself and all the companies that are getting rich off the destruction of this. That is what that means. Oh, because this word never meant anything, and it's just a word that assholes ascribe to things they don't like. Okay, cool. Glad to know I know what it always meant. Alrighty then. But yeah, so I had one more after this, and I get the feeling that it was the same one for both of us, and that was Excalibur.
It was, but I actually have another one after this, yes. Excalibur,
okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we read the both one. Was the other one Justice League?
Yeah.
Okay, then we both read the same too then, as I thought.
Yeah, Excalibur, yeah, continues to be fucking awesome fantasy with X-Men thrown into it.
what's not to love? My favorite joke in this whole thing is that they're going to the old Excalibur base, the Braddock Lighthouse, and they get Kitty and the Marauders to drive them because it's on an island. And Kitty's like, oh yeah, I remember the lighthouse. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Kitty was a member of Excalibur for years.
Yeah, so it's really cool as well because, like, obviously she's in the book now as well. So she's technically part of Excalibur, at least for this issue. So it's like kind of like a reunion sort of thing.
It is. It's coming home. The only thing they're missing is having Nightcrawler there because he was also a member of Excalibur for a long time.
Yeah, they end up getting attacked by like weird, like not sea sirens.
Selkies, creatures of Scottish mythology, and they had no shortbread haggis or heroin to get them to leave. That's fine. I can make that joke. I'm of Scottish descent. It's cool when I say it. I've been to Scotland.
Deep fry some Mars bars and throw them out into the ocean, like chum.
Man, Italy gave us pizza, but Scotland truly perfected it when they're like, how can we make this better? Deep fry it.
Yeah, deep fry it and put it in like a big munchie box.
Oh, man. Curry sauce? Man, tell me about it. Iron brew? It doesn't taste like orange. It doesn't taste like iron. It's made of pure sugar, and I love it.
But yeah, they're dealing with the like Sleeping Beauty rogue, who's now like in a cocoon of Krakoan flowers. And they got to take her to the lighthouse, which is like got a big thing on the top of it where they put her, and it like turns everything into the tree thingies, the Krakoan flowers and whatnot.
I do love that idea where they're like, oh no, our ship ran aground. We're stuck now until we create another portal. Oh, hey, we created another portal. We're good now.
It's like, do we want to leave? Or what's going on?
That was a scary couple moments there, wasn't it? When we didn't think we'd be able to get back. They also mentioned that like everything that's been going on with Morgan Le Fay and Betsy becoming the new Captain Britain has had like these weird ripple effects in the world of magic, especially amongst the druids, for there are druids who are still alive and still around. 2 groups of druids, in fact.
2 groups, yeah.
There's the good ones who are like, hey, Betsy, we're cool with you being Captain Britain and everything. But these other guys, they're really shitty. They're the Coven of Akaba, who we met at the end of the previous issue. And if you know your X-Men lore, you're like Akaba. Isn't that like Apocalypse's group? Isn't that the cult that worships him? Yeah, but the Coven of Akaba actually came first when he was traveling the world trying to find mutants. And he basically started like a magical order. And then once they got too powerful, he's like, fuck these guys.
Yeah, he's kind of been like in a lot of these books. He's been like working the behind the scenes strings, clearly setting something up for probably a coup or something over Xavier or something. Because you can't trust every mutant despite what Xavier seems to think.
Mm-hmm. What is it? Gambit sure doesn't trust him, and like everyone thinks he's a little crazy for not trusting him. It's like he's Apocalypse, though.
Yeah, that's what I found. That's like one of the many things I found weird about these people. Like, because there's obviously something weird happening to all of these mutants, but like, I like how like Gambit's like, I can't be the only one who sees that we're teaming with Apocalypse. Like, do we not remember the multiple times that he tried to kill us? And like, it's great. It's fine. He's a mutant. It's fine. We have our sex island now. It's cool.
Yeah, we're all cool. No more anger. No more hate. It's great, too, that we're only 2 issues in, and so far every problem that the Excalibur team has had can be traced back to Apocalypse if he didn't fuck with the portal. And Morgan Le Fay, Rogue wouldn't have been turned into a flower woman, and if he didn't create this Coven of Akaba, they wouldn't be fighting them right now.
Yeah. Again, this feels like him, like, running a series of experiments to see, like, like, can I get over maybe can I get over into Camelot and take over and have like my own personal like side domain which I can use to like foster an army or something like that. Take over magic, because like Xavier doesn't have like dominion over magic.
No, he doesn't. It's his one weird blind spot, and I could take it for myself. It's funny, too, because Apocalypse, probably more than any other mutant, keeps crossing over into all these other books. He's probably the most present.
That's what I'm saying. I reckon they're setting up for, like, an event, and Apocalypse is going to be the villain, or at least, like, a big main part of it.
Because he's got his kids in the X-Men book. He's got all this stuff with magic over here. Hasn't showed up in Marauders or New Mutants yet, but give it time. I'm sure he will.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he's there in spirit.
I keep waiting for the scene where he talks to Mr. Sinister, because Sinister was always Apocalypse's henchman for the longest time.
Yeah, now they're like sort of on equal footing, at least a little bit.
I want to see like how much history remained there. I want like Sabanur to be like, dude, you were like my ball carrier for the longest time.
I wonder if he'll end up teaming with him, because Sinister, he's kind of important now, because he like built the tech that gives Xavier like all the backups and stuff.
Yes.
Of like all the mutants from Cerebro and everything. Like he built the back end of that tech, so maybe Apocalypse would want that.
He's also the first Chimera mutant, as we discovered as well.
Yeah.
And also not the original Mr. Sinister. There was a Sinister before him who was not a mutant. Which I like that a lot, actually, that mutant Mr. Sinister subjugated all the other Sinisters.
Yeah.
That's a fun little bit there. But yeah, it's a cool book. Excalibur, lots of fun. Shogo, Jubilee's baby, comes back, and they remind us. And I needed to be reminded because I forgot this. They're like, "Oh yeah, that baby's not a mutant. That baby's human." Which, oh sure, he's a baby now, but won't that cause problems in the future for all these mutants who are becoming more and more populous and more, kind of militant in keeping their island pure and only for mutants?
Yeah, that's the one thing that's like, people are okay with just this human baby being there. I thought they like want to kick off the filthy Homo sapien.
Yeah. Well, as they keep saying, look, you can visit the island if you're friends with a mutant or have a close tie with a mutant, but it's like, oh, but Shogo's probably going to want to live here, right, until the time he's 18 and everything. Ooh,
see, the thing,
that's going to be a problem.
That's the thing, they say that, but then you get like some mutants who are like totally against that. No, this is like our sex island, no humans allowed,
They put the little sign up, no humans
allowed.
allowed.
On the beach, got the little sign, yep.
And again, if we want to dig even deeper, like Hickman joked there, it's like, well, what about land ownership on the island? I mean, Krakoa is alive, so like, what would Shogo like inherit his mother's property in the future? And what's the deal there? Will he be the first human landowner on Krakoa? We can't have that. And like, she's thinking of that too, and that has her afraid too. Where it's like, what if Apocalypse just decided he want to kill my baby? What then?
Yeah, what's stopping like any of the mutants deciding like, we don't want to take a risk with this human, we'll just kill him.
Because here's the thing too, Shogo's mind isn't in the big mutant chest of like backup brain patterns and everything, because he's human.
Yeah.
Which means his mother will certainly outlive him in the future. And oh no, I just got very sad now thinking about that. The way things are going, and I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, well, they could have like a thing that allows him to be part of it or something.
Yeah, we'll give you some infinity formula.
Yeah, something like that. We'll do a special discount, and you're allowed to like access the gene pool or something. Although you do something that makes him a mutant. That
asks a ton of
sprinkle a little X gene on him.
There you go, you're fine. Man, I'm reminded too, one of the things that Bendis did when around the time Shogo was first introduced, and it was like not dumb, it was actually kind of cool. We see him in the future as an adult, and he is going to the Xavier school and he is helping out and everything, but he's clearly a human because he has an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Crazier too, you know what his code name was in the future?
What was that?
Omega Sentinel.
Ooh.
He wears a Sentinel Iron Man suit in the future, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. In the future, he's trying to take it back, and undo like all the evil that the Sentinel name has done. But it's like, oh, that would be like if you were a hero of the Jewish Community Center and your name was like Nazi Man or something.
I'm trying to take it back, folks.
Dude, read the room though. Maybe I don't know, man. Just I don't know. I am Captain Confederate Flag, and I'm here to help you all. Are you though? Are you? No, it's fine. I'm also Japanese. Well, that's just confusing. But yeah, so Excalibur is cool.
Yeah.
And I guess the last book we had was Justice League. I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, it's again pretty cool issue. It was more like, again, a primer for the next issue, which will definitely be All Out War. with the
lot of setup.
Yeah, well, it's probably gonna have a big payoff because again, this book finishes, or at least Scott Snyder's run finishes same day as like his last Batman book, Doomsday Clock. What was the other one? There was another big book that day. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, so yeah, this is all set up. It's all speeches basically. The Justice League having a speech with their people, rallying them, remembering what they fight for and everything, even though they know they're probably going to lose. It was a really good speech.
It's a really good speech.
Yeah.
Like that's the high point action thing of the issue. Superman giving a good speech saying like, look, if we fight Luthor the way we fought him before, we're destined to lose because this isn't a battle of people anymore. This is a battle of ideologies, and we need to prove that justice is stronger than doom with our actions.
The part I liked was where he talks about like he was always able to beat Luthor because of the people. He had the people's backing and he believed in the people, and Luthor didn't believe in anything apart from himself. But now Luthor has moved on and he has faith, and that's like one of the most dangerous things ever for a man like him, and it's led to this. I thought
he's
that was
become a
cool.
religious fundamentalist, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
A Perpetua fundamentalist who, man, Perpetua really gives it to the old Legion of Doom, doesn't she?
Yeah, she betrayed them. I fully expected Luthor to be the one to betray her.
Me too, and the fact that Luthor was actually a little upset at first when he sees what Perpetua does to them, turns Brainiac into a chair.
Yeah, into his big chair that like then attacks the rest of the Legion and sucks all of their force powers out and gives them to Lex.
So he now has all the Dragon Balls. He has all the aspects of chaos.
I like as well. There's a moment there where it's not explained, but I think it's Manhunter's voice in his head telling him that this is wrong or something. Like
right,
it's like a little speech bubble, and I'm wondering like, oh, is this going to be like the thing? Like, are we going to get like Luthor's like turn, like heel turn, basically, where Manhunter kind of takes over a little bit in his head and changes him into like a good guy again, or like he's the reason why they're able to win.
You know what, Matt? I think you called it 100% because John Jones is surely like the mainest character of this. It's him, it's Hawkwoman, it's a little of Jon Stewart, who also got an important role this issue too. So I think you 100% called that, Matt. John, the Manhunter, is going to help everybody win because he's going to either get Luthor to turn against Perpetua or take over his body long enough for the heroes to win.
Yeah, something like that is going to happen because they at the end of this, they need to split Luthor. Or they need to use that child Luthor got in his one-shot, Year of the Villain one-shot, to return him back to normal, like a normal human body. So, yeah, hey, they have to split at some point.
Yeah. Which, man, I think it's so cool that they already set that up.
Yeah, again, foreshadowing. They knew.
Yeah.
They knew.
Also, we get the promise of a giant robot fight between the flying Legion of Doom headquarters.
Awesome.
That was, and I love that Batman did it too. It's like, look, I'm prepared for everything, and that also means a giant robot fight with our bases.
Yeah, I can turn our Hall of Justice into a giant scarab-looking robot. It's gonna fuck up your hall. We're gonna fight amazing. In the streets.
I love we're just pure anime now, where it's like, okay, giant robots meet in the center of the street and let's just punch it out.
And it makes sense as well because I follow Scott Snyder on Twitter and he's been watching a lot of anime because he's got kids.
He's been watching a lot of anime and a lot of wrestling, apparently. His kids like that too, which makes me think like, yep, we're getting heel turns, we're getting giant robots, we're getting the whole thing.
And you get Superman off the top rope.
Oh no! Oh geez, he clatters down in there. He's finished. Oh god, he'll never walk again. 3, 2, 1, and it's over. That's how it's gonna end now, everyone. That's what's gonna happen. You've heard it here first. But yeah, Justice League is fun. It was kind of like getting to me a little bit where it's like, okay, can we have the big thing? You've been setting it up for like 3 issues. I know, they're all doomed. Everything is screwed. How are they going to get out of this one? Yeah, it's like, dude, you've...
This issue was a lot better than like... Or last issue I really liked, but yeah, it was... I know what you mean. It was just like, okay, we get it. They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
the base becoming a robot definitely sells it, where it's like, okay, if you're going to do this, at least we're going to have fun with it, and Superman's speech elevates it too.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so that was good stuff. So is that everything, Matt? Is that everything for the week?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, that's everything we read this week. We have still barely scratched the surface. I've got at least 7 or 8 books still sitting around, and 2 more I haven't picked up yet.
Yeah, yeah.
It was one of those weeks, everyone. It was friggin' nuts. Here's hoping next week is a little kinder to us.
Hopefully.
Also, too, I looked this up, too. Christmas actually falls on a Wednesday this year.
Oh, fuck.
I know, on which on one hand, it's like, oh, good, there'll probably be no comics so I can chill out, but also, oh no, there'll be no comics. What the fuck am I going to do that week?
Gonna start banking comic reviews.
Yeah, banking videos. So, like, again, and, obviously, chat here, we'll get your opinion, too. We're probably going to do a Christmas commentary. I've been kicking around the idea. I think we have to do Shazam, because that movie takes place at Christmas time.
Yeah, Shazam, Dark Phoenix, yeah.
You keep pushing that one. We'll see. Maybe a Christmas miracle will happen and my heart will grow 3 sizes and I'll want to do it, but we'll see.
Your heart will grow 3 sizes and then you'll die. Because your heart grew 3 sizes.
What the hell did that? Was that the fatty foods? Was that angina? What the hell did that? But yeah, we'll probably have to do Shazam. Man, if Stank Sinatra is listening, Stank did such a great job last year cutting together like the best of, and I actually got some time off. So if you're out there, Stank, please cut together another video, the best of comic multiverse of the year, so I don't have to work that hard. I'd appreciate it.
They're always very good.
They are very good. They're actually you know our content and what makes us funny more than we do sometimes, like legit.
Yeah.
Like I'll listen back to his work as a fan and be like, oh man, I forgot that rant. I forgot that one too. What else should we do for Christmas to fill some time there? I guess maybe do another podcast. I always talk about doing this every year, like not like the best of the year, but like our buyer's guide, where it's like, here's some things that, we really enjoyed this year and you might enjoy too.
Yeah, like our top 10s or like, best ofs 2019 or something.
I would say even make it like more than just comics and be like, hey, you really liked that show Yellowstone this year, so here's, one of our favorite things of the year. Or be like, hey, I really enjoyed, I don't know, this web series or something, so throw that in there as well.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we'll do something fun like that. I know I've had that in the back of my head for a long time, so yeah, we might end up doing that one for fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird a Wednesday where there might be no comics, because I know sometimes it's like they have 3 or 4, but like if it actually falls on a Wednesday.
Yeah, and I know is it next week? No, it's the week after. I know goddamn Crisis of Infinite Earth starts.
Oh, yeah, that's right, on December.
And it starts on the day we do this, like at the same time.
Oh God, I'm so behind on all the. I need to like sit down and like watch all. And this week has sucked. And I like looked at the big pile of shows, and I'm like, God damn it, just like another thing. It'll be good when we get there, I'm sure. Oh, the Amazing Spider-Man said you could do Last Jedi in time for Rise of Skywalker. We probably should, because we didn't actually do it, and like no time like the present. Yeah,
that's probably a good idea. Star Wars is big now, so yeah.
It's good, long content, so yeah, that's probably a good idea. Thanks for that one, Amazing Spider. I'll add that to the list of things we can do to fill time over the holidays. And yeah, I guess with that, everyone, I'll start bringing this show to a close. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. It means a lot to us. Thank you for anyone who donated. You still can donate. Matt and I split that all 50-50, so you're helping out both our channels on that one, so that's always good. If you're a Patreon, you'll get to listen to the audio and video versions of this before anyone else. Yep. For as little as $1 a month. That's always a good plus. I know we've gotten some new Patreons. I'm sorry I don't have your names in front of me, but you know who you are, and thank you.
I think maybe if you start giving me the names, I'll start ending the show with like a credits roll of Patreon names.
That's a good ass idea, Matt. I've always wanted to do that. Let's do that. Starting next week, everyone, we're going to have a whole Patreon credits roll. So if you're there up in the front, we'll try and put you front row center.
Yeah.
Also, thank you, Tevye, for hosting the show at the very end as we're winding down. It's the thought that counts. Appreciated. So yeah, anything else to say, Matt? Any parting words before we finish her off?
You can join me at the end of every week for the Mandalorian commentary, and come join me in the live stream. Watch it with me, talk about it. It's been pretty cool so far. I've been really enjoying it. Yeah, I'll be doing that. Hopefully, I'm starting a new game of Fallen Order, and hopefully I'll stream that from the beginning to the end soon.
Cool. All right then, everyone. So that'll just about do it for the Comic Multiverse this week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to join us. Same Comic Multiverse time, same Comic Multiverse place next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.